What's going on, everybody? Respawn Gentleman here. So with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands coming out very soon, I wanted to do a breakdown of all the classes and give you what I think are the best builds for each one. So let's get right to it. So I'm on the Wonderlands skill calculator, and I'll have a link for that in the description below in case you want to check that out. But today we're going to be talking about the Spellshot. Now, the feat for the Spellshot is Spell Weaving, which whenever you cast a spell or reload a weapon, it grants the Spellshot a stack of Spell Weaving, which increases your spell damage. The spell weaving stacks automatically decay for a few seconds, and if you cast a repeating spell, it has a chance to award additional spell weaving stacks with each repeating cast. So that's kind of the feat that you'll get for this one. So for the action skills, you have Ambidextrous, which basically lets you cast 2 spells at once, and then you also have Polymorph. Now Polymorph is really cool because it turns an enemy into basically a sheep. And if the enemy can't be turned into a sheep, then you cast a free spell on them. But while they are turned into a sheep, any damage that they take gives you a chance to cast a free spell. And this is actually guaranteed the very first time you deal gun damage. So this is absolutely insane. And it gives you a stack of spell weaving as well. So I think Polymorph way better than Ambidextrous. So that's what this build is going to go on. So let's get right into it. You want to go ahead and max out your spell sniper. It's going to give you increased spell critical hit chance, so that's going to be super important. You want to also max out magic bullets because a portion of all bonuses that you receive to your spell damage will also apply to your guns. So not only will your spells be doing a lot of damage, but your guns will too. You want to put 4 points into Prestidigitation because that does increase your reload speed. You want to max out Font of Mana because it gives you increased spell cooldown rate as well as action skill cooldown rate. So this is majorly important to have this skill. You want to also grab Mage Armor so that way every time you gain a stack of Spell Weaving, you restore some of your ward. You also want to max out Just Warming Up because this increases your fire rate with every Spell Weaving stack. Next, you want to get Glass Cannon because even though this makes it to where your ward no longer charges, you do massively increased amount of spell damage. Plus, if you already have Mage Armor, then you're going to be getting back your ward anyway. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and max out the Imbued Weapon, which basically is every time you cast a spell, your gun deals bonus damage based on that spell's element. So if you cast a fire spell, then your gun will now do bonus fire damage and things like that. So this is very important to use. It's going to be just all sorts of damage you're going to be dealing out. Next, you want to get High Thread Count because it increases the maximum amount of spell weaving stacks. So you're going to want as many of those as possible. Then you want to go ahead and max out Warcaster. This is a kill skill that every time you kill an enemy, there's a chance that your weapon is instantly reloaded, which then gives you another spell weaving stack. And the more spell weaving stacks you have, the more chances that this will happen. So you're going to be getting spell weaving stacks on top of each other. It's going to be a lot. Then you want to go ahead and max out Double Knot. It says whenever you score a critical hit with a spell, you deal bonus damage equal to your gun's element. And then you want to go ahead and also grab 1 slot, 1 kill. It says gain increased gun damage per spell weaving stack. So you're going to be getting spell weaving stacks like crazy with this build. You're going to be increasing your gun damage and your spell damage. So this is super important. Now you definitely want to grab the Sever the Thread capstone skill because it says gun critical hits have a chance to instantly reset all spell cooldowns. And this skill has a short cooldown itself. So you're actually going to be able to basically be casting spells almost non-stop with this build. It's absolutely insane. Let's jump over to the stats. So for the stats on this one, I left the backstory at none. I increased the strength to 20 and the dexterity to 20 to give you more critical hit chance and damage. I went ahead and maxed out intelligence so you can get the highest amount of spell cooldown that you can, which is going to be super helpful because you want to be basically constantly casting spells. And then I went also ahead and increased the action skill cooldown because you're going to want to be turning people into sheep left and right. This is going to be insane. This is an amazing build. Now for the multi-class build for the Spellshot, I think the best one to pair this with is going to be Graveborn, which is going to give you a Demi-Lich companion that will target enemies and deal dark magic damage. And anytime you cast a spell, the Demi-Lich will also cast Hellish Blast, which creates a homing projectile of the spell's elemental type. And so since you're going to be casting spells nonstop, you're also going to be casting Hellish Blast like crazy. So this is a super important one to have. I think this complements Spellshot massively. As far as the action skills go, I think if your main is the Spellshot, stick with Polymorph. And then for the skills, you want to go ahead and max out the Spell Sniper, the Magic Bullets, Font of Mana, mage armor, glass cannon, and then you want to put 2 points into imbued weapon, and then max out high thread count, warcaster, max out double knot, max out 1 slot 1 kill, and also get sever the thread. Now for the Graveborn side, you want to go ahead and max out Essence Drain, because this is a kill skill that gives you plus 25% spell cooldown rate when it's maxed out, which is going to be absolutely huge. You're also going to max out Faithful Thralls, because this is going to make your Demi-Lich do more damage. Then you want to max out Sanguine Sacrament, because it says every time you cast a spell, you regenerate 30% health over 2 seconds. So you're going to be casting spells, doing tons of damage, healing yourself constantly. It's going to be insane. You also want to grab Dread Covenant, because with this one it says 35% of the damage taken by the Fate Maker is redirected to the Demi-Lich, and it says when the Fate Maker reaches 1 health, they immediately restore 75% of maximum health and sacrifice the Demi-Lich. So this is super important, especially because you're going to have glass cannon, so your ward is going to be kind of going through pretty quickly, and you want something to kind of take the damage off of you, and that's mostly what the Demi-Lich is there for, but it also deals some damage while it's there too. Now for the hero stats of this build, I went with no backstory again, and I put strength and dexterity at 15, and then I went ahead and maxed out intelligence and constitution so you can have your spell cooldown even more, which is basically going to be constantly slinging spells everywhere. And you want to have your maximum health and ward increased as high as it can go so you can, not die as often. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Wonderlands content, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other videos like the one YouTube recommends right over there. And if you want to help support this channel, you can check out the support links in the description below. Thanks for watching.